be still. Who does that resonate with? Peace, be still. Hey, Deb, good to see you, girl, this morning. I love it, I love it, I love it.
Hi, Dr. Marnita. Good to see you too, and everybody.
Yes, thank you. Everybody as excited as I am. So glad to be here. This is going to be exciting. We had quite a few people register for this one. For those of you who are new, welcome. We are here like working together for change. And I know I'm excited we have been able to collaborate with you and create for you so you can begin to transform to the life that you really want to have. And so it's so exciting. And we've had some really amazing conversations. If you're excited to be here, can y'all unmute yourselves and give yourselves a hand? You have been extraordinary going today. Today, and I thought about today's topic for some time now, and peace is so important as we are in the ring fighting for change. You know, it's worth the battle just to have peace in our lives. And so I wanted to start this conversation off with an excerpt of a book that I'm currently working on. It's called The Proverbial Purpose. And I wrote this excerpt sometime last year. I had no idea we would be having a conversation on peace, but I would like to share it with you to kick off this conversation as it relates to peace. Would that be okay? Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay, here we go. Entitled Peace. Like the fresh morning dew descending on bladed grass, peace descends, pervades, and rests upon consciousness. Like honey from a swarm of bees, peace invades the conical hive of the heart, producing a honeycomb of love. Peace relieves strained relationships between you and yourself, you and your circumstances, you and your expectations, and ultimately you and your purpose. Hitherto unleavened, leavened peace pervades, congeals, and transforms you into your God-like self. The zenith of peace resides in the changeless source of yesterday, today, and forevermore. Fermenting plenitude, poise, and confidence, peace brings about a magnanimous character, allowing the emergence of righteousness over wickedness, joy over depression, and kindness over malevolence. The Prince of Peace allows your latter days to be better than your former days, only if you trust your peace, the honeycomb of your heart. And so once I went back and read that, what I realized is that peace, there's two types of peace. External peace, which is what I was going to talk about at first. I was going to create a conversation around external peace. And then there's internal peace. And as I thought about everything that we have been through over the past little bit over 2 years now, I decided to create a conversation around internal peace. Because it's really, as I see it, in my life also, eternal peace creates circumstances, objective circumstances in my life that exude peace. And so I looked up the definition of peace. I know, we have this idea of what peace means to us. And so when I looked it up, it says peace is a freedom or a period of freedom from public disturbance. freedom or a period of freedom from public disturbance. It is an interruption of a unsettled, peaceful situation. It is an interruption of a settled, peaceful situation. That's what disturbances means. And so if you have a settled situation and it becomes disturbed, then you find yourself taking action in order to fix this situation of brokenness. And oftentimes, I think a lot of people feel that peace can be created. But peace is something that you came here with before you were even given your name. You were always meant to have a peaceful life, but life and circumstances get in the way to disturb that peaceful life. And so you find yourself having to fix it. So you can't create peace. Peace can only be received. So you have to manage situations so you have the ability to receive peace. You have to manage the situations so you have the ability to receive peace, because peace is a grace gift. It's not that someone can gift you peace because you already have peace. And so since today we're talking about internal peace, I want to approach that from the framework of the heart. Now, when we get a headache, there's something, we can take in order to relieve our headache. But let me ask this question. What do you take when you get a heartache? And we've all been there. What do you take when you get a heartache? Is there a remedy that you employ to alleviate your heartache? Come on, y'all. Y'all ready for this morning? Y'all ready for this morning? So, one thing that you need to know is that all of your pain doesn't come from things in your life. Some of your pain come from people that you love. I'm going to say that again. All of your pain doesn't come from things in your life. Some of your pain come from the people that you love, whether it be platonic or romantic. Y'all ready? Y'all sure y'all ready for this morning? Because we done been through some stuff over the past couple of years, right? That has greatly impacted our relationships with people, whether it be platonic relationships or romantic relationships, friends, families, associates. All that is true. And I know if it's true for me, guess what? I ain't in that boat, but I'm not in that ring by myself. And I'm ready for the battle. I'm ready for change, because you know what? The fight is worth it. Y'all with me right now? The fight for change is worth it. Okay? So when you think about the people you have spent time with, you do know that they inevitably have an impact on your life because you have an emotional investment in them. You do realize this, correct? And because you have this emotional investment in them, you have to know that this word we call love is risky. And you want to have the courage to stay open to being vulnerable. Vulnerability requires courage. Vulnerability requires courage. If you now get this now, if you spend enough time with someone, it is possible to fall for that person who may not be emotionally healthy for you. I'm going to say that again. When you spend time with people, Lord have mercy. When you spend time with people, it is possible to fall for someone who is not emotionally healthy for you. When that happens, I think there's a lot of people in life, in general, living a life without borders around their heart, right? And as a result, there's like things can come in and out at will. And it creates an unsettled situation as it relates to our peace. It's a public disturbance to our heart. So we want to remain vulnerable, but oftentimes these situations will make us build walls up around our heart. And that's something we don't want to do. Because when you build a wall up around your heart, that means nothing can come in or nothing can come out. And it basically suffocates the vitality of the heart. So what you want to do, instead of building a wall, you want to build a gate. Y'all know those fence gates? Why you say gate, Dr. Marnita? Because a fence. You want to build a fence because a fence has gate. You can allow things to come in that is healthy for you, but you can also allow things to go out, which is unhealthy for you. Once you acquire the definition of your borders for your heart, which your fence is the border, and define that fence and determine and assess what you're going to allow to come in and stay and what you're going to allow to go out and leave, because there would be different things and different seasons coming in and out of your fence, your gated fence around your heart, depending on the season in life that you're in. Because you were meant for change. You were not meant to stay the same person season in, season out until infinity. And circumstances that we come in contact with, what it does, it allows us to experience that change. There are lessons that we need to learn from circumstances. I'm not saying that all circumstances are meant to be easy or pleasant, because they're not. But the ones that are the most travailing in our lives allows us to assess a problem and create a solution so we can change and move forward based on the resolution of that troubled circumstances that we had to make it through. So I believe that oftentimes, as we go through life, we get stuck, in a certain season in our life, and we tend to carry that season forward. And based on beliefs that certain circumstances in a previous season has given us, and I call that we're living a life a mythical life experience based on circumstances that doesn't serve us anymore. So let me unpack that myth, that mythological part, okay? If you find yourself living a mythological life, it means that you have unanswered questions about your beliefs that blinds you from the discernment between fact and fiction. Can I say that again? A mythical life experience means that you have unanswered questions about your beliefs that blind you from the discernment between fact and fiction. There are some things that we have experienced in the past that has congealed our beliefs based on that circumstance. And we don't know if it's serving us in our present. So we're living a mythological life experience based on that. And so I want to provide you with some questions. If you feel that you're in that particular situation, I want you to provide you with some questions that you can begin to ask yourselves about these beliefs that you don't have answers to for the authentically, uniquely you. Is that fair enough? Okay. So when you come across these beliefs, one question that you need to be asking yourself is this true? Now, this is what I call absolute thinking. Ask yourself the question, is this true? Question 2, you would then ask yourself the question, can you absolutely know that this is true? Can you absolutely know that this is true? Third question, how do you react when you believe that thought? How do you react when you believe that thought? And question 4, who would you be without that thought? Now, that's one of my favorites. Who would you be without that thought? Because oftentimes we tend to limit our capacity for peace based on a prior circumstance or an event that we bought into, and we were never meant to buy into it. So your peace can only be received. It cannot be earned. Ooh, come on, Dr. Marnita, that's a good one. Peace can, ooh, come on, Dr. Marnita, that's a good one. Peace can, come on, girl. Peace can only be received. It cannot be earned. Say that. So for today's conversation, I did all of that to bring us up to today's conversation, which I want to tag the conversation as peace consciousness. Peace consciousness. Peace consciousness. So I have a question for you to think about just for a minute. Who is the watchman over your heart? You know, there's all kinds of watchmen. They have night watchmen for parking lots, like to make sure people's cars are safe. They have watchmen over different territories, like to make sure customers getting out in and out of the store safely. So I think a watchman, when you think about who is the watchman of your heart, the only person that it can be a watchman of your heart is you, right? But how often do you exercise the muscle of being a watchman over your heart? I think we forget about our heart too often. And so when I was thinking about watchmen and how I was going to tag this conversation, I looked up watchman. And watchman is the ability to think and act quickly in emergencies. Ooh. Ooh, that's a good one. Ooh, the ability to think and act quickly in emergencies, right? The ability to write accurate reports. Stop it. The ability to write accurate report, not mythological reports, accurate reports of different incidents that occur in your life. A watchman is the willingness to work, it says nights or unusual shifts. So it is the ability to work at any time as you live life. Unusual shifts. That means anytime, which means you have to be leading with a peace consciousness. You know, consciousness is a real thing. Actually, consciousness is the control tower for how you think, what you do, your character, and where you end up. Consciousness is your control center. But most people are busy living an unconscious life based on habits and an accumulation of experience that we have accepted and moved forward with, and we operate unconsciously without thinking. So what I'm asking you to do is to begin to lead with this peace consciousness. It's not going to be easy in the beginning. Lord, let me tell you, it's not. But the change is worth fighting for. We're here for change. We're in that ring. And I don't know how many rounds it's going to go, but we're going to get a knockout at some point. Okay? And it also says the watchman has integrity. This is good. Reliability. This is so good. Courage. Sobriety. And good vision. Stop it. Stop, Dr. Marnita. This is too much on a Saturday morning. Yeah, 2020 vision. I love that. Yes, stop it. Yes. So, as we are rebuilding our heart borders, I need you to know that you deserve more than fractional peace. You deserve more than fractional peace. You deserve to receive whole peace, because I just told you peace cannot be created, it can only be received. You deserve to receive whole peace. You can't control what happens to you, but you can decide what you would allow it to do in you. Oh my God. Say that, girl. You can't control what happens to you, but you can decide what you would allow it to do in you. Now, I hope y'all got that, because it's a choice. Because your future is only threatened by the comfort level you have with your past. Your future, stop, girl, I seen you say ooh. I said ooh too, because I heard it again. Your future is only threatened by the comfort level that you have with your past. So I need y'all to break some of those mythological beliefs that has been driving your life so you can change. And that battle is worth fighting for. We all need relationships. This really hit me hard as I was trying to think of what to talk to y'all about this morning, because the pandemic has really been so dismantling when it has come to relationships, whether that be family relationships, professional relationships, romantic relationships. It has really wreaked havoc on relationship, but we can't just dismantle all relationships, because we need relationships in order to thrive. We were never meant to do this by ourselves. So I put together some things for you to consider if you want to restore the relationship or continue to move forward with the relationship without completely throwing it away. Fair enough? And I call it the playbook for relational peace. The playbook for relational peace. So first, y'all ready for it? Oh Lord, y'all getting a playbook. First, you want to be able to assess the damage. Assess the damage. Now, if you have a home or if you have a car and it gets in an accident, your home may, a tree fall on it. And the first thing that's going to happen, whether with the insurance, what they're going to do? Assess the damage. Same thing with your heart, people. Bam. Same thing with your heart. Assess the damage. Your first response really is to get yourself out of a situation of pain. So usually what we tend to do is we want to reconcile relationships too quickly because we don't want to feel the pain. We don't want to feel the pain, but we haven't assessed the damage. And so if we don't assess the damage, we just want to get back into the relationship and avoid feeling the pain without knowing what's wrong. Because some of the problems that you may come with after your assessment from the hurt may be pregnant problems. Y'all know what pregnant problems is? Don't all y'all know what pregnant problems are. Pregnant problems are problems that lead to other problems. It births other problems. So if you've been hurt in such a way that as a result of being lied to, right? that's a problem. Because that problem is going to lead to another problem of maybe it may impact your trust. Maybe it may impact your integrity. Maybe it may impact your perception of how to deal with that. You know, you may be dealing with it in the wrong way. So you have to assess, you know, what are the problems as a result of the hurt? How have you assessed the situation? It could lead to something like physical and emotional abuse. That's what you want. A problem not always is a problem in and of itself. It can birth other problems. That's why your assessment is so important. And then once you assess the problem, now here's a good one. You have to determine what are you willing to do, or what is it going to take in order to fix the problem? So what are you going to have to do? What things need to be in place? And this is if you want to save the relationship. What things need to be in place in order for you to fix the problem? And what is it going to cost you? I know as a people, we don't think about this, but it's going to cost you something. It's going to cost you something in order to fix this, if you want to maintain the relationship. Now, if you're just going to throw the relationship away, you don't have to do any of this. But you still have to assess the hurt and for yourself, so you don't carry it over into another relationship. Right? Because in the narrative that I wrote, it says, you know, it relieves tension between you and yourself. You know, so getting to a healthier you is important. You still have to do this assessment, because you cannot you can't build a healthy border, this fence that we spoke of, without assessing the cost. Okay. The second thing in the playbook, accept reality. Accept reality. And accepting reality means that your emotional attributes would never be the way that it was for that particular relationship. Not saying that it can't be better, but it would never be the way that it was. You would never have the same trust at that level for that relationship that you had prior to the hurt. Ever. You would never have the security. You would never look at that person the same way. Not saying that it can't be better. It just depends on what things you put into place in order to make it move forward and more healthier based on the new reality. And it's okay to grieve what you thought you had. Oftentimes we try to reproduce what we thought we had. You don't want to reproduce what you thought you had. You don't, trust me. Trust me on that one. You want to assess, accept the reality, put new things in place according to this fence that I'm building, so I know that I can allow things to come in and out, so I can maintain and receive the peace that I naturally deserve and then was born with but I can't get it unless I assess the damage and I accept my reality. Y'all still with me? Is this helping anybody today? All right. See a couple of hands in the house. Yeah, good. So you don't want to return to where you were. You do want something new. Number 3. Y'all ready for number 3? Now this is big. Number 3, avoid self-blame. Stop it, y'all. Avoid self-blame. Whatever you did or did not do is never an excuse for someone to act irresponsibly. Say that again, Dr. Marnita on fire. Whatever you did or did not do is never an excuse for anyone to act irresponsibly. Ooh, stop. Everyone bears the blame of their own actions. Everyone bears the blame of their own actions. It has everything to do with their character and not with you. Oftentimes, we're trying to carry someone's irresponsibility on our back, and y'all trying to fix people you can't fix, because you can't fix somebody else's character. It is what it is. Stop it. Is this true? This is enough truth for y'all this morning? Okay. Because usually what happens, the person who did the heartbreaking tends to blame the person whose heart was broke. Because they don't have enough courage to look into themselves. Usually the person who did the heartbreaking tends to blame the person whose heart they broke. Don't carry that, y'all. Now, this is just something for you to consider. I'm not saying, look, listen. I'm not saying you have to do any of this. This is just something for you to consider. So don't go out there saying, Dr. Marnita, blah, blah, blah. I'm just giving you some stuff. Like, take what you can use and hold on to it, and whatever you can't use, and hey, look, listen, throw it away. I'm just trying to help. Because you know what? The change is worth fighting for. I'm trying to give y'all some tools to put in your boxing gloves, because there's a fight out here between fact and fiction. Number 4. Y'all ready for number 4? I'm almost done. Y'all ready for we got 4 more to go. Number 4. You need to articulate the need. It's one thing to kind of like know what you need, like internally, like I feel I know what I need. I feel I know, but can you articulate that? So someone else will understand what it is that you need. What do you need, babe? I don't know. I hear that someone, what do you need? I don't know. Because you can't articulate your needs. So you have to have the ability to articulate your need if you want to save the relationship. Because people can't read your mind. And you have to be honest about what is needed in order to rebuild that relationship. You have to be honest. Because when you're honest, now the other person says, you know what, I really do understand this is what you need and you deserve all of that. But I don't think I can give that to you. And you need to accept the reality that, okay, I get it, and you're going to have to move forward. But they don't know unless you're able to articulate to them so they don't make the same. No, they're going to trip, right? But they're going to trip, they're going to stumble, and they're going to try. If they want to maintain a relationship, they're going to try, and they stumble. I get that. But at least they know what they're working towards. Remember, you're building the fence around your heart so you can receive all the peace that's meant to be yours. Okay? Number 5, ask God for help. You can't do this by yourself. You can't. You can't put yourself in isolation and do this by yourself. Only God can heal a broken heart. Only God can heal a broken heart. That's truth. Only God can heal. I asked you at the beginning of this conversation, you can take ibuprofen to heal, to relieve your headache. What do you take for a broken heart? What do you take for a heartache? Whoop, there it is. Whoop, there it is. Number 6. Is this good, y'all? Yes, fire. Yes, fire in the chat. I love it. Number 6, you have to anticipate road bumps, right? You have to anticipate road bumps. As you move forward, there will be things that trigger you. You ride by that street where it all started. Like you start to well up with an emotion, like, yeah, I remember, y'all, this is where it happened. I'm kind of like feeling the way I was feeling. You have to anticipate the triggers. What's going to trigger you to the past experience? And you have to learn how to manage those. And the person you're trying to maintain a relationship with won't always manage giving you exactly what you need. So you're going to have to kind of like have a strategy in place where you're able to manage that. Which means, like, if you're leading with a peace consciousness, you are aware where the triggers occur. But if you're not leading with peace consciousness is a real thing. Consciousness is what determines what you see on the outside of yourself, right? So if you're not in that state of peace consciousness, it's not easy for you to manage the triggers. It's not easy for you to manage the person who may be stumbling and not perfectly giving you what you need, but you need to decide, how can I help them get closer? Because I need 100% of my peace. And that's not selfish. I'm like, I don't want to be selfish. That's not selfish. I need 100% of my peace. Sometimes you might need to can I have a couple of days off? Can I get a break here for a minute? I just need to recalibrate and revisit this for just give me a couple of days. Okay. 7. We almost done. 7. Adjust according to the fruit that you see. So you've given someone the plan. This is what I need in order to make this relationship work. This is what I need. So what you need should be producing like fruit. If it's not producing the fruit that you want to see from the relationship, you need to adjust according to the fruit that it is producing. Because you had an agreement. Because if both of you had decided to move forward in this relationship, there is an agreement that is in place, and it's not giving you, if it's not giving you the fruit of that agreement, you need to adjust. You need to adjust. Does that make sense? Is this helping? And 8, acquire support. Acquire support. You can't do this by yourself. You can't. You can't be your best self by yourself. Ooh, Dr. Marnita, say that again, girl, 100. You cannot be your best self by yourself. Can't. Stop letting your pride get in the way. Take your pride out of it. Your pride is just your ego saying you can do this. We don't need nobody else. Stop it. Because when you really want to be well, you'll look for anything that you'll look until you find what you need to help you get well. You do it for everything else. Whenever you want something, it could be something as small as something for your house. You'll look and look and look until you find that right tile to match that perfect couch that you have in the room. Look until you find what you need for support in order for you to get well. Sometimes you need a counselor. Sometimes y'all need your pastor. Sometimes you need a coach. Whatever it is you need to find it, because you can't be your best self by yourself. And determine what safe spaces look like for you. Determine what safe spaces look like for you. That's important. Safe spaces are important. So that's your 8 step. And then you don't have to use any of them. You can use some of them, or you can use none of them. But you have them now. These is what I have found to be helpful for me, for people that I work with in a coaching capacity. So use it according to how you need to change in your life. Because change is worth fighting for.
Hello, I am Dr. Marnita on fire from P3 Purposepreneur TV. Thank you for stopping by our channel today, and I hope you enjoyed this conversation. If so, like, subscribe, share, and leave a purposeful comment. Again, from P3 Purposepreneur TV, where purposepreneurs are pattern makers, and pattern makers are move makers. Goodbye.